Hello, ladies and gentlemen and bacteria, children, adults, teen, Ellie, welcome back to SteamWorld Dig, a fistful of dirt. Yeah, in the last part, we started getting started with the whole game. We went mining a bit, and we got a couple of upgrades, such as this run, I think, if I remember correctly. But first, let's get going. Okay, so we have to keep going down, but I think there's a couple of more like caves down below that we can enter into. Like, this one's filled with upgrades, like, you know, the sign basically shows it, but then there are random, or not random, they're just general caves around that you can actually access in general that can give you items if you really need to. Let's see, okay, double checking, making sure. I guess I did come back for that, piece of, ore. It's been a while since I played the last few episodes, because the last few episodes were played in a small session and then I quit just to help with something else, and now I'm playing this. Okay, here we go. So while I'm digging and trying to, you know, gain more mineral, you know what I'm kind of surprised by is the fact that you know, Ed and Eddie's isn't used much that much for meme purposes. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure some of you will already know the meme of like a Double D doing this whole thing where it's like, they take an image of Double D and his face is already like mean to heck and back. Basically, I'm pretty sure some people will already know what I'm talking about with the Double D meme, where they literally just have his character like holding a book up, and then they just, you know, add in images of things that are said in that book, and then, you know, they just push whatever it's on there. It's like, you know, like it says like, oh, facts, blank 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 blank, that type of meme format. I'm pretty sure most people know of that meme, but like, I'm surprised other memes aren't really used from what was it, ah, dang it, I ran out of space, from Ed and Eddie more. Like, for example, one big example that I can give is from this one episode of Ed and Eddie, where the Eds are busy trying to get into fads, but, you know, the rest of the cul-de-sac kids are way ahead of them, or they're trolling them. I just assume the cul-de-sac kids are trolling them a lot. Which brings up another point, but I'll talk about it later. Since, you know, I'm just going to talk about Ed and Eddie episodes, might as well. But in this fad episode, Ed asks Double D, what's a fad? And I'm saying, oh yeah, okay, right. I'm just making sure, like, I'm trying to, like, make sure I don't get confused by the names either. But yeah, Ed asks Double D, what's a fad? And Double D responds, a fad is when something insignificant becomes popular. I'm surprised that's not used as like a meme format thing at like much. I actually created, you know, a basic meme format of that just to do that, because, you know, I thought, it makes sense to me. It's like, to me, like, if no one else is going to do that, then I will. Although I'm not sure whether or not anyone else has done that yet. So I think it might have been redundant. But hey, at least that's something. But a lot of, like, what's said in a couple of other Ed and Eddie episodes could be used as, like, memes, and it's very, very weird. But you know what? I don't blame them. I don't blame them for thinking, there's, what do you call it, for people not remembering sometimes. Sometimes we all forget the classics, or the best. It's kind of a shame, but it happens. So, where was I? Oh yeah, right. Memes. But yeah, the next episode of Ed and Eddie, of what I'm talking about, that, you know, the whole trolling thing. Anyone remember that episode where the kids were getting pranked by a prank master, and then the Eds tried to avoid being pranked? But it turned out the kids were just pranking themselves. I never understood that, where it's like, the beginning of the episode has Eddie prank the other Eds to a degree. Well, it's more like the other Eds try to prank Eddie. And then all of a sudden, like, Double D, and then Eddie turns it around on them and pranks them instead. Which, I get it, I understand, that's like a setup for the show, and that makes sense. But then, like, Eddie says, hey, I bet I can prank everyone else in this whole place. And then the kids, they try to, try their hand to prank somebody, but, like Rolf, for example, but he was already pranked. And then it's revealed that there's a person called the Prank Master that's pranking people. And then later on it's revealed that the kids themselves pretended to be pranked because they wanted to prank on the Eds and get them to prank each other. Like, one of those twist of fate sort of... I don't know if that's what it's called. It's a particular, like, story, like, I've seen it before used a lot of times where, like, oh yeah, we get the person thinking, oh, this other person's working with that person, or, like, the other characters betray each other because of the whole stress, or their thoughts of, oh, this person's doing that, so I have to betray them, otherwise they're gonna get me. That type of thing. So... could be, I don't know what that particular, like, storytelling tool is called, but it's something similar, like, because I've seen it before used a lot of times. Mainly just, people saying, like, using it against other characters and stuff. But, anyway, one thing I will say that I don't get. Okay, hold up. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, right. So that's what happened. They pretended as if they were pranked, and then they told the Eds, oh yeah, no, we pretended to be pranked. Just so you guys prank each other, and we pranked you. Haha, very funny. And I'm like, how did you guys know they were gonna prank them? Or did you guys just do this because you guys thought it was funny? And some people will say, well, wasn't this like on a April Fool's Day sort of thing? And if I remember correctly from that episode, because I watched it, well, I don't know if I watched it recently, because, like, I'm trying to watch it, or trying to watch Ed and Eddie again, so, and I haven't gotten to that episode yet, because I've gone to episodes that that I remember specifically, like, A Warm Glass of Ed, where Ed starts sleepwalking, and sleep eating at the same time. So it's been a while since I've gotten to that episode. Maybe I'll rewatch it. But I don't feel like as if that episode was on... Well, the episode might have been, like, aired on an April Fool's Day. But I don't think, like, the kids or even, like, in show, the day was set on April Fool's. I think everyone was just in a pranking mood. So yeah, that was the very maximum time. Oh, alright, forgot about you. That, of course, the cul-de-sac kids decided to, be trolls, apparently. Which, I get it. Maybe, like, I understand. It's like, that's kind of what the show is about, showing the Ed boys as basically extreme outcasts between everyone. And that makes sense, honestly. But still, it's kind of weird. Thinking that, they planned this whole thing out where they were gonna prank everyone and say, like, they were gonna prank the Ed boys specifically by having themselves be pranked. Or pretend to be. And so pretend is sort of a big stretch because a lot of them actually get themselves just outright, like, put on the line. And I remember specifically, Kevin got bear trapped. Literally, he had his butt chomped on a bear trap. And, like, the level of dedication for that, I have to commemorate them because they literally do a lot of stuff against each other just for the sake of that joke. And I have to respect it to a degree. I mean, I don't like it, but it's because, it's like, wow, you guys are being mean to the Eds for, like, no reason this time. I know, like, Eddie was gonna prank you, gonna try to prank you, but he wasn't gonna do it yet. So it's like, wow, you guys really thought ahead? Either that or you guys really just wanted to mess with the Ed boys today. And you know what? That level of, like, commitment, I have to give it some credit. But at the same time, I don't like it. So it's like an uneven split there. Thank you. Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy some ladders because I want what's in there. And I know I could just get something else, but yeah. I want that specific mineral. Okay, come on, come on. Here we go. Perfect. Here we go. Whew. sorry if I went on a tangent there, or you know, just rambled on about Ed and Eddie. It's such a good cartoon series, especially nowadays. Sorry, I'm just thinking like, yeah, it's a good series, honestly. That's why I'm saying it's a good series. But there's just one small thing that I remember specifically that happened. Ooh, I got a teleporter. Oh yeah, I know this. Okay. Strange device used them to create shortcuts back to Tumbler Town. You're welcome to try them out. Okay, yeah, I understand these. Basically, you just place these down anywhere and you step in them and then they teleport you back up. It's a little bit like faster than just going to certain places, you know, from one place to another. But, kind of want to. At the same time, though, it's not that long of a trip back and forth. I'm gonna wait. And for now, I'm gonna get another upgrade to my pickaxe for now. And another upgrade for my pouch later on. But first, let me get some of these letters. Thank you. Okay, just in case if I need another ladder. Because it's always going to be the one you think... It's always like one short that you sometimes need. But yeah, another episode of Ed and Eddie, like, might as well talk about it, is that kind of like really speaks to me nowadays. Is the quarantine episode. Remember that episode where the kids get chicken pox? Everyone, like every single one of them, and the only ones who didn't were the Ed boys for some reason. Well, in that episode, it literally was just that the kids got chicken pox, and so the Eds were the only ones left who didn't have it. So the Eds decide to, you know, just do whatever they want for the day. Well, sort of. They don't really know what to do, at least some of them. And they just, you know, mess around for a bit. Unfortunately, though, Eddie, right. Eddie, unfortunately, doesn't really feel like doing much, or at least feels more to complain rather than actually doing something. Which, you know what? I'm pretty sure some people can relate to that already. But then Eddie starts going crazy because... well, like I said before, none of the kids are no longer around, so he's like, what am I supposed to do? I want people to scam. He's like, that's what he lives for, man. So yeah. So when his livelihood is just basically in jeopardy, he starts going crazy, and in one scene, he starts... try to scamming anything he can, including a freaking like squirrels, where he starts doing the whole, you know, that cup game thing where it's like he shuffles cups around and he steals nuts from squirrels. Man, that's extremely funny as a thought. I don't know, I just think it's funny in general. And you know what? I don't blame him. Like, I'm pretty sure quarantine in general has gotten people to be a little bit more crazier than usual. So, I don't blame him for going a little crazy. I'm pretty sure some people can relate to that. So, yeah, the quarantine episode. That's what I call it because it's literally what it sort of is. It's kind of weird to think about that. It's like, oh, everyone's in self-quarantine or quarantine off. Okay, to be fair, though, it's a different sort of quarantine. I understand. It's like all the other kids in the cul-de-sac are basically locked away from the Eds, not the other way around. I get that. But still, it's really weird to think that episode came out, like, years ago. Before, like, during the 2000s. And now we're in in the 2010s. Literally the first year of the 2020s, sorry. We're literally in the 2020s, and already we're having this pandemical issue. My god, 2000 in general is just a kick in the head, isn't it? Sorry, just thinking about it makes me, like, sad. But really, I shouldn't be sad, because, like, I should be talking about Ed and Eddie, because that show is good. Really good. And it even ended good. Anyone remember the whole, what was it? Oh yeah, the, Big Picture Show, the TV movie or TV special, season finale thing about it? Anybody remember that? Because that was a good, you know, season finale. The Eds basically just finally become a part of it. You know, the popular kids and everything else. And I have to say, that's good on them. They really deserve it, honestly. So it's like, good for them that they finally became popular. They really do deserve it, so... At least there's that. At least the Eds finally became popular. I'm really glad for that. And who knew it was just because, like in all honesty, I never thought, like, something like, that serious to a degree would ever happen to the Ed boys to a degree. Because I always thought it was just, we might never know why Eddie's the way he is. Maybe he's just a jerk at heart. But nope, they really, really went there and explained why Eddie was the way he was. And I'm not saying that's bad. I do like the whole backstory to it. It's just, wow, it's really, really deeper than I expected. To explain what I mean by this, it turns out that Eddie had a slightly abusive brother. I say slightly because I have no idea in context of the cartoon how abusive he really was, because he did a lot of stuff that Eddie's been, you know, through and doesn't really enjoy. But, you know, it's still, like, something, like, cartoonish, so it's kind of hard to fully judge, but I'm gonna go with very, very, like, abused to a degree. Anyway, his brother was just a huge jerk in general, and really liked to torture Eddie a lot, physically, through, like, physical pain. And, when the other kids see this happen to him, they realize... I'm pretty sure they, like, as well as, like, Eddie's, like, you know, what's it called? Confession at the very end, where he explains, like, yeah, I lied about my brother being cool because I wanted everyone else to think I was cool. Like, man, that really got to me. And, like, the other kids realize this, too, and realize, yeah, so that's why Eddie's the way he is. He just doesn't really know how to specifically, like, show his emotions to other people. Oh, man. It's just really weird to think about, honestly. And also kind of sad in its own way, but... not much you can do with it. But thankfully, though, Eddie, Ed, and Double D all end up being friends with the other kids, because I guess it's a sort of understanding of, you know, Ed being slightly abused, and you know, the other Ed boys being, you know, decent people. So, you know, maybe Eddie just wants some friends, and maybe that's what he's going to get at the very end of it all. Kind of a shame what happens to Johnny at the very end, but I guess that's just his problem now. Like, I kind of don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, it's been a cartoon, like, season finale that's happened over a few years ago, so it kind of doesn't matter. Like, whether or not it's spoilers or not, it's like, it's so long ago, do you really expect anyone to say, oh yeah, like, yeah, spoiler alert? But I'm pretty sure someone will say it, so it's kind of like, I have to, like, you know, state spoilers, otherwise people are going to complain, and, you know, that type of stuff, either way. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so, yeah, I'll talk about it. So, at the very end of the series, when, Johnny and the rest of the kids get hurt during one of Eddie's biggest, blunderous, scams ever, like, this scam really, really goes wrong. Yet, they don't explain what happens during it, but that's fine. It's good to leave it up to, you know, the viewer's interpretation as to what happened. Anyway, at this scam, Johnny and the other kids are gonna hunt down the Eds. But, you know, like I said, the other kids realize, or at least finally catch up with the Ed boys and see what Eddie's brother is really like. So that leads them to liking the Eds, or at least, you know, forgiving Eddie to a degree. Basically, like, you know, Double D and Ed themselves weren't really bad kids. In fact, they're kind of good kids. They just had the unfortunate, they just have some, like, issue sometimes with being friends with Eddie because, well, he's kind of a jerk. But you know what? I think he's softened up a bit since their adventure at the Big Picture Show thing. Anyway, so at the very end of it all, Johnny comes in and attacks the Eds because he's still on the revenge path. And you know what? To be fair on Johnny, he didn't know that the Eds were forgiven. So then the other kids beat up on Johnny, and he becomes their social outcast now. I mean, don't get me wrong, Johnny was never like extremely like what's the word? What's the word for it? Like the most social of butterflies, but he was okay in standing with the rest of the whole cul-de-sac. So it was kind of a shame to see him becoming the lightning rod of hate of sorts for the rest of them. But unfortunately, though, they really can't we don't really see much of this because the movie ends right there, where, you know, Johnny comments on it like, he asks Blank, like, what's that, Blank? Wait, there's no time left. It's the end of the movie. What movie? And that ends the entire sort of thing. Okay, wait, let me see what that upgrade was. Deep tank. Oh, I think I know what that deep tank is. It just requires an actual something else. Like, what do you call it? I think I need an actual, like, another upgrade in terms of my weaponry instead of, like, my personal upgrades. Like, you know, my run. I need something else that's kind of like my run, but something else in order to access that upgrade. So, there we go. So, anyway, I guess that's the end of this episode. I was talking about Ed, and Eddie, and that's it, really. But I guess we'll just, you know, end off this episode right here. Anyway, guys, I'll see y'all next time in the next video. Until then, time now, my bots. Take care.